We're on a 2-game winning streak, dude.
Yeah, we're on a 2-game win streak, bro. How does it feel? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, in the immediate, it feels good.
Yeah.
Only because I'm not tuning in every Sunday to watch us get our ass whooped.
Dude, it feels like we're in, like, mediocrity limbo again, though. You know what I mean? Like, this is so familiar for Dolphins fans, though. Like we're never good enough for a playoff push. Like a deep playoff push, but we're never bad enough for a good pick, and it just feels like we're creeping back into that limbo mediocre category again, bro.
The picks of like 12 through 16.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's pretty annoying.
But then on the bright side, it's like this is the first time Chris Greer hasn't been around, you know? And so this is the first time in the last, since 2016, so the last 10 years, almost, where we've been in this situation amidst real change, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this year's different, you know? Maybe this is a turnaround for the Dolphins.
I mean, that's what I was thinking, to be honest, because truthfully, if you really look at the scope of, like, our draft picks that we have had, at least the last 2 years, they're a lot better than what it was, you know. I think it was 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
We struck out bad. But for me, I think that there's something to be said about, all right, you know, it's not about when you pick, it's who you pick.
Yeah.
Right? So we are the thing that I'm most excited about, regardless of what of how we end the season, whether we make the playoffs or not. Yeah. We are already guaranteed change. It's guaranteed now, because the person that was calling the shots, especially for rosters development, he's gone. Yeah. Right? So me just knowing that there's going to be a change in philosophy from the top down makes me feel hopeful that I'm hopeful enough to where even if we fight back, right, and get our way into the playoffs, something like the Brian Flores debacle happens. Because we didn't think that when Black Monday came around, we didn't think Brian Flores was going to get
I thought he was safe, dude.
Right? We thought he was safe because he led us to a winning record, another like comeback style season where we started off bad and we fought our way back to be in playoff contention, right?
And the reason B-Flow, like, we didn't expect him to get fired is because I feel like he did that with a mediocre roster. Right. Like, we have a really pretty good roster, I feel like, compared to that time.
We do. And that's why, for me, I think that, you know, we're seeing a good response from the team right now, right? We beat a Buffalo Bills team, which, I mean, hey, you know, that's a solid win. That's a solid win, bro. You look at it, or even how Buffalo has played within the past few weeks. But we beat Buffalo. We beat a damaged Commanders team, right, overseas. Yeah. Now we have a bye week. To me, I wouldn't hold my breath in us, like, even thinking that we're going to have a top 5 draft pick anymore, because if this team is playing inspired like the way it has been the past few weeks,
our defense especially
we should be able to beat New Orleans, which is up next.
Yeah.
And then we should, even though it feels like trap game-ish, even though we're both bad teams, but it feels like a game that we shouldn't drop, but is going to give us issues, is going to be at New York.
Yeah, so...
But we should be favored in that game, too.
We're definitely going to be favored. So, coming up on the schedule, I mean, 10-7 is not out of the question, bro. We got the Saints. That should be a dub. The Jets, that should be a dub. But like you said, it would be a very Dolphins thing to lose one of those 2 games, for sure.
Exactly.
And then the Steelers, I think we match up kind of evenly with the Steelers. Like, I think...
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be favored in that game.
I think we could beat them, though. It's a winnable game for sure.
Right, so then you're looking at 3 straight wins again, right? That would bring us to 5. If we win these next 3 games, right? Yeah. We're 7-7 going into which week?
Bengals.
Okay, it's hosting the Bengals on a primetime slot. Burrow's going to be back. We already know that.
Yeah, that's going to be the test. And then we got two rough games at the end with the Bucs and the Patriots.
Right, so... I think we could there's a strong possibility we get to 500. Yeah. And then we see us just kind of drop the last 3, right? Yep. But I don't know. This team's going to really have me thinking, right? Depending on what happens, let's call it the rest of November. Let's just call it there. Yeah. But I say all that to mention that, you know, forget about getting a top 5 draft pick anymore, because from what it looks like, the Titans are not going to win that many more games, and I think we are at least guaranteed to have, let's call it 3 more wins on this season. Right. So that's going to bring us to 7 wins. We're not picking top 5. Let's just kind of get that out of our head, right? Yeah. I think we even pushed ourselves out of the top 10. Maybe we pick at 10 if 3 more wins is all we get. Yeah. But regardless, it's a pretty good looking draft to where if you just change the philosophy, which we know is going to happen because Chris Greer's not there, maybe you pick best player available rather than going for need. I like the Kenneth Graham pick, and he's developing, and he's going to be a key piece moving later. But he's starting to come alive. Hey, man, definitely. Like, how do we know fucking? How bad do we miss Tyler Warren right now when we had him? Oh, we were thinking about it. We're like, well, maybe not. But if we weren't going to address cornerbacks anyway, right? Like, hey, Tyler Warren in this offense would be marvelous.
Great, right? We've seen how competent tight ends can perform in our offense, and yeah. So I think you're right. I think we, at the very least, fall out of an elite pick. Yeah. You know, I think 10-7 is not out of the question. 9-8 is a little more realistic, but still a little optimistic, given that we have the Bucs and the Patriots at the end of the schedule. I think we could beat the Patriots at the end of the year.
I think we're gonna have to if we want to play in January or continue playing into January.
I think the question I have is like, are we for real though? Do you think that we are good enough to make a playoff push? No, it's all just.
I think we're gonna benefit of being in the hunt again because we're playing bad teams too. Yeah. Now, that's not to say we can't be a hard out, right? For all these teams, I think we're a scrappy team right now. We're playing inspired. The defense is kind of gelling together little by little, right? Like the past couple games, right, against Buffalo, and granted, a Jaden Daniels-less Commanders team, like. There was less than 20 points scored. Yeah. In both those games. You know what I mean? Like, that's – and turnovers. Like, Anthony Weaver's defense was criticized last year for not having enough turnovers, right? Yep. And right now, that's not the case. Like, they are turning the football – they are forcing turnovers right now.
Yeah, we're playing really well.
So, so I don't know. I can see a path to where we go into Pittsburgh, right, and get ourselves back up to 500. Yeah. But I could also see a path where – it just all crumbles beneath us again. Another primetime slot in December. Yeah. And we, pissed that game away, right? Yeah. So, like, nothing is surprising me. And I think that's what I'm, I guess, thankful for this season is that I want to watch my team win every Sunday. I'm going to tune in with that being at top of mind anyway. Yeah. But even a loss right now would be like, right. There's no surprise in me because we're supposed to.
Yeah, it's almost like all the expectations that we once had for the Dolphins are like gone. So now it's like we're genuinely just watching, and whatever happens, there's a silver lining in whatever happens right now. Right. Like we win out, we maybe
great. Maybe we make a little push. Right. Yeah, we'll watch ourselves on Wild Card Weekend, and then, I mean, the tone of the fan base is going to change really, pretty quickly too, right? Like, if we go and make it to Wild Card Weekend, there's going to be a lot of us that wanted McDaniel out that are going to start trying to rationalize within ourselves. Well, maybe how do we do this, right? But coaches have been getting canned after successful seasons all the time.
All the time. Brian Flores, we just talked about,
right? He didn't lead us to a playoff berth, but we were right there. We fought at the end of the year, right? Yeah. And we fought last year too. Came up short by 1 game, but now we're doing it again, and it's like. I could also see if Champ Kelly sees enough where it's like, hey, yeah, they're playing inspired right now, right? Yeah. They're doing a good job right now or playing well. I could also see a point where it's like, hey, even with that, it's the appropriate time to make a change. So, for me, Dolphins fans are like, they're seeing the rumors come out saying, hey, but they're thinking of keeping McDaniel for another year. We're playing well. We're going to keep McDaniel a year. I would still say, I'm not saying that it's likely, but I would caution everybody to just – take a breath because I still don't think his job is safe even if we do play well.
I think you're right. I don't think his job is safe. I could definitely see a scenario, though, where we let him ride out for 1 more year.
Me too.
I could definitely see that. That seems very likely to me.
I think that's the more likely route.
Him and Tua riding it out for 1 more year. I see that happening.
Yeah. I think that's the more likely route.
It's the more like, especially with Tua, man. We can't get rid of Tua with that contract right now. So no. And with Tua stays, I could see them keeping Mike McDaniel around for another year, seeing how it plays out.
I'm just curious to see like how is Stephen Ross pitching this GM spot to potential candidates? Like,
yeah, it seems.
What about this opening, right? Yeah. is so intriguing, right? Or attractive, I should say.
Yeah, what is attractive about the Dolphins GM role? Because it seems to me like it's a not very attractive GM role. But I've been seeing a lot of reports saying it's a prime destination for a GM.
I think it's a great spot, right? I mean, it is Miami, right? I don't know anybody that would want to turn down a job in Miami.
Location-wise, it's great. And it's, as far as location goes, free agents definitely want to come to Miami for the environment. But what about the culture? You know, what about the contract Tua's on? What about the head coach right now?
Yeah,
you know,
and that's what is Stephen Ross gonna pitch, right? Is he gonna say, "Hey, I want you to come on to be a GM, but you got to deal with McDaniel and Tua at least for one more year"?
Right? I could see that.
Is that an attractive proposal? I don't know. That's subjective to the person, right? That's interviewing for the job, right? Or is it a GM that you absolutely love?
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey, but my idea is to still turn this thing down. I have a different vision for this team.
To tear it down.
I want my own head coach.
Yeah.
If I come in, I want my own head coach.
Yeah.
And that's why for me, I'm not so sure in saying, hey, yeah, for sure, you know, that this is what's going to happen at the end of the year. I don't know. So because of that, I'm going to want us to win. I don't know what's going to happen. And again, if this thing develops, right, when you say like, I don't know what's going to happen, I feel you, but to me, it's like, that's better than what we got going on now. Like, could it even be worse than being stuck in mediocrity, you know? Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. But that's my thing where I was like, I don't know how Ross wants to sell it. What's going to be your angle? And essentially, I think that's what Champ Kelly's trying to gain information on right now, is like, all right, what am I noticing as the interim GM? Like, what am I noticing right now? I think McDaniel's coaching for his job. I think that's more like it. And he's doing well, but I think the constant problem that since the McDaniel era started, was that the Dolphins are weighed more on the ones they're weighed more on the losses they have than the wins they do than the wins they have. And it's been a constant thing, right? Like going into primetime games, November, December, us crumbling. It's always about, hey, the Dolphins are good against bad teams.
And it's still that way.
And the Dolphins are bad against good teams, right?
Yep.
So for me, I don't know if what's going to happen the rest of the way this year, because really it's only three games left where they are definite underdogs in.
Yes.
Out of the remaining six. I think
so
right? six more games.
Yeah, 6 more games. So Bucks, Patriots, and Steelers.
Bengals and Steelers they might be considered underdogs in the next 4 games. So that's
especially if Joe Burrow's back.
Before the last 4 games, if we could knock out the next 3, I think it is, right?
Yep.
Yeah. If I can knock, well, the next wait.
Well, it's Saints, Jets, Steelers, Bengals, Bucks,
Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the last 4 games, we're probably considered underdogs.
Yep, last 4 games for sure.
Right? Which means the next 2 we'd have to win. But that only gets us to, what, 6 and 7? And then what's supposed to happen, I think that's the way it is. We're supposed to win these next 2 if we even want to think about continuing, like, if thinking of making a playoff push, right?
Yeah.
We have to win the next 2.
Yep.
Once that 4-game stretch starts of Steelers, Bengals, Bucks, Patriots.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna separate them.
That 4-game stretch, Steelers, Bengals, Bucks season, Steelers, Bengals, Bucks, Patriots is basically McDaniel's job, possibly Tua's future, possibly our playoff hopes, possibly. That's a big 4-game stretch for.
And again, I think it's easy to assume a lot of things. That's why for me, I'm not going to believe the first report that comes out where it's like, hey, Tua is expected to be the QB or Tua McDaniel are expected to be the pairing for next year. There's a lot of just shit that is coming out right now where I'm like, I'm not so quick to believe that. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're expected to be safe. What if we literally start a whole nother, we just lose the rest of the way starting Sunday?
Yeah, that would honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised at that. I would be more surprised if I would be more surprised if we do what we're supposed to do, rather than us losing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be more surprised if we win what we're supposed to win.
Right.
So just the way that we've been playing this year, like on and off type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for me, you know, that's why for me, I guess I would call it, you know, the season's back on. Only because I do want to see, if we do what we're supposed to do against the Saints and the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't I want this team to just finish the season on a strong note, being a 6-7? We're already not going to get a top 5 pick with that record.
Well, the thing is, like you said, we're already not going to get a top 5 pick. We're already probably having Tua next year. We're probably already having Mike McDaniel next year. We might as well
if you're telling me we're retaining them whether we lose or we win, then why would I want us to lose?
Exactly.
The only motivation that's going to come with, hey, let's continue losing, let's tank correctly, right? Is if you tell me like, hey, McDaniel's coaching for his job, and McDaniel's future is uncertain, right?
Yeah.
And he's gone. All right, then all this was for a reason, and that was a total like overhaul, right? But if you're telling me that he's staying anyway, even if we lose the rest of our games, then I would rather just watch us win.
Well, like you said, we don't know though. That's the thing. Like whatever GM comes in is really going to tell us what's going on.
I'm telling you, I would not put it past it right now. Where it's even if we win out or we finish 9-8 and we squeak into the playoffs, right? And that's a real possibility, bro. The AFC is not that good of a conference this year.
It's not. No, it's
not. Really not. There's a lot of average teams.
There's a lot of supposed to be elite teams that are pretty average. Like the Chargers are in the wild card spot right now. We're one tackle away from beating the Chargers.
The Chiefs and the Ravens, if the playoffs started today, would not be in.
Which is crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, man. I think that if you're not going to make a change from the head coaching and quarterback perspective, then I'd rather a later pick and let's knock it out the park with the amount of picks we have next year anyway.
I agree. Let me ask you something, though. So, like, sometimes I think, like, I'm happy with Mike McDaniel returning as our head coach because the players seem to love him. But then shit happens where he, like, what do you think of him going for it on 4th down last week? Instead of kicking the field goal with 2 minutes left in the game.
It's hard for me to really look at it and say, wow, what a stupid decision.
I don't know if it's a stupid. Here's the thing. Yes, it's a stupid decision because we didn't get it. Yeah. But if he gets it, then the whole like atmosphere of the team changes. You know, we punched him in the mouth. Right? We're a 3-7 team at that point. We punch him in the mouth, and that's like a statement for us moving forward. But the problem is we didn't make it, and now it's like McDaniel's an idiot. He should have kicked the field goal.
But I think I think the point that I would counter that is exactly that first is how you said it in the beginning. It's if it would have worked.
Yeah, he's a hero.
And think about it. We went into that game 3-7.
Yep.
We won that game, right? Thankfully. We won that game, and now we're starting talks of saying, oh, wow, okay, hey, I'm looking at the rest of the way here, and this team could be heading into, Cincinnati week or even Steelers week, really flirting with the idea of being a playoff contender. But we didn't walk into Madrid thinking that. We said 3-7, and we thought we were going to win, but hey, regardless, it's still the Commanders, right? So for me, I think the tone changed after Sunday because now we have just enough wins and a really favorable schedule the next couple weeks to where it's like you don't really have a choice but to think that you're going to be in the mix because you shouldn't drop those games.
Yeah.
For me, back to the original question, like the reason McDaniel went for it was just because if we lose, we're 3-8, and again, right back on schedule with having a pretty poor season.
Like, let's try to give us something.
But if I win and I'm coaching for my job, I'm gonna go for it here and end this game.
Yeah.
Rather than making it something that gives them a chance in winning. And again, it didn't pay off. I get it, but
here's what I think.
We're also not 6-3 and battling with the Patriots for the AFC East title right now.
We almost have nothing to lose.
Where it's like, hey, take the points. You need a win, right? And start, getting in first place in the AFC East. But we're not in that position.
I think that decision didn't come straight from Mike, though, bro. I could see him he's a player's coach, bro. Like, the players love him. He's a player's guy. So I think the team probably wanted to, like, make a statement here. Like, he probably asked the team, like, you guys want to take the points? Yeah. And I could see the team in that moment being like, nah, let's end this thing. You know what I mean?
Right. And they took a gamble and they lost. But, for me, if you're at 3-7 and you're in that spot, I'd go for it too. Like I get it. I think in the grand scheme of things now, because we're talking about the season's back on, or we're thinking that the season may be back on to possibly get a playoff push, we're gonna criticize him, right, for that itself. But
Yeah.
I don't think we're as irate if we don't make it, we lose. We know that we're 3-8 and probably not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say another stupid thing that McDaniel did. It's just another stupid thing.
Right.
But we won, and now we're like backtracking and being mad at him because we won, and now we're in a favorable position to not be dropping games. And I don't know. I feel like there's some weird reverse psychology thing going on there.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bright call in my opinion, but I'm not gonna be overly mad.
I don't love it. I don't hate it, bro. From a fan's perspective, I don't love it, but from like a players and team perspective, I don't hate it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. It worked. Let's be happy it did. Not necessarily it worked, but we walked out of there with the win, right? Let's just be happy about that. But when we talk about looking forward to the draft, and we talk about the future, right? I think that's pretty much more accurate.
Yeah.
For me, I think we said it a couple shows back, but like I really do want just the best player available.
Yeah, I think that's what we need, bro. That's what we need. Like, don't overthink it. If there's a dog on the board, take him, bro.
Yeah,
that's what Howie Roseman and the Eagles have been doing, bro.
Yeah, just get dogs. Just get the best player there. Like, don't overthink, right? I think one of the best things that we did, I think we hit on those 3 defensive linemen we got this year, bro.
Yeah.
We went from having damn near no depth on the defensive line to I think having a pretty solid bench of players, because these young bucks are coming in, dog.
Kenneth Grant,
Jordan Phillips, and Zeke Biggers, right?
You feel like we nailed it with those 3 guys.
They're only getting better.
Yeah.
And alongside Zach Sealer, we just signed the contract this offseason, right? So he's locked in. I think they're gonna gel better, right? And I think that it's gonna be a really bright spot for us in the future, right?
Yeah.
I think we played ourselves out of obviously the quarterback talk anyway.
It's fine.
Right now where we're at.
I don't see any
unless we lose out. But regardless, right?
I'm not too high on any quarterback in this draft.
Regardless, right? It looks like the class of 2027 is coming out stacked too.
Yeah.
Perhaps even more stacked. So that's fine, but we need to just get the best player available.
I agree.
If it's a lineman, it's a lineman. But if not, get somebody that can impact the game, please.
Yeah.
Get that.
Preferably the trenches. But really, if there's a guy available who can change the game, get him.
If they let Caleb Downs, that DB from Ohio State,
if they let Caleb Downs slide, God, you got to get him.
You got to get him. You got to get people. And I think that's the mentality that this new GM has to bring alongside the new people that are going to be assessing the draft picks, right?
Right.
These college players, man, for far too long. And again, I don't regret the Kenneth Grant pick. I don't want to be unfair and say that, but I do think having a Tyler Warren would probably have a much more, I guess, noticeable impact.
Yeah, no, for sure. Right? I think at the end of the day, Tyler Warren would have changed our team a little more than Kenneth Grant is right now, because he didn't really develop until halfway into the year, right? Like, he's just starting to kind of show why we drafted him as of late. But Tyler Warren came into this league already, bro.
Yeah, right. So that's why I'm like, whether we win out or whether we lose out, there's gonna be somebody new making these decisions.
Yeah.
And depending on whatever Ross wants to do, I don't want to believe that anybody really knows what Ross is gonna do.
I don't think he knows what he's gonna do, bro. I don't think Ross knows what.
I don't think he really knows. I think that Champ Kelly's obviously here in the interim. I just don't know if once these interviews start happening and once these candidates start emerging and these rumors start coming out about who we're gonna get and who we're not gonna get, there's gonna be more rumors out saying this candidate, wants the job, but reports say he wants the new head coach and the new QB, right?
Right.
Like, there's going to be a whole bunch of reports from both sides, talking about some things that, are for this coach or against this coach and all that good stuff. So I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So at this point, it's like, if you're telling me that you're going to play inspired and you're going to play good football, the season's back on. Let's watch every Sunday with optimism because we want to win.
Look, man, the fan in me is never going to want to see us tank. Like, truthfully, like, my mind wants to see us tank, but my heart is never going to want to see us tank, bro. No. I want to see us win. I want to see us fight every week. Right. You know what I'm saying? I want to see a Cinderella story from the Dolphins, bro.
Right.
But, exactly. That being said,
but we cannot fall into fool's gold. We can't fall into a fool's gold thing and say we fought back against really subpar competition, right? So this plan is working. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We cannot do that. There has to be another major change, right?
I think with all being said, no matter what we do this year, unless we make an AFC championship or win a playoff game, change needs to happen regardless.
Right.
Unless we win a playoff game, because we haven't done that in 25 years. So that would be, he can't lose his job. McDaniel cannot lose his job if he wins a playoff game.
No, he cannot.
Because we haven't done that in half a century.
But to be honest,
or a quarter of a century.
But to be honest, if he doesn't lose a playoff game, if he wins a playoff game, then I probably don't want to get rid of him. Hey, that's a huge step.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a huge step.
The only way that Mike McDaniels can save his job in the long run, and maybe Tua, I'm not really sure, is if they win a playoff game.
Yeah, if not, keep everybody off their back at least for another year.
Exactly. If not, no matter how good we do, change is happening.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I would like.
Yeah, no, me too. We're still on the same page. I still think that a big change has to happen. There has to be an overhaul. But my thing is, there's so many ways this could play out, right? The GM gets sold on McDaniel Tua pairing for the next years to come.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty much what you expect offensively out of the Dolphins, right?
Right.
I think what I am optimistic about is that if McDaniel continues to evolve this like 6-man O-line.
Yeah, that 6 O-lineman. Right, he's been like our wild card.
We are running that ball.
Yeah.
We are running that ball well. So we continue to add that nuance in and develop that. If that makes Tua better, then maybe I could sign up for it. But then that means our defense has to be so
I think like
down that
it's tough, right? Because we're so limited with Tua that we have to have every other phase of the ball looking great.
But exactly. But what I mean is like Tua's gonna be our quarterback in 2026
for sure. Right.
Anyway, right? So if that means you keep McDaniel, because we obviously know that Tua's gonna be the quarterback in 2026, and this is the coach that's coached him the most and the most familiar with him. Okay, whatever. As long as you commit to evaluating them for that 1 year.
Yes, for sure.
Because if you're able to evaluate that 1 year and 2026 is a disaster or it's mediocre again,
flip it upside down.
Yeah, flip it upside down. Yeah. And then you have the alleyway for 2027 to start with a new coach, new quarterback.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, but again, I don't know how Ross is going to sell it. I don't know what he's going to say.
I don't know if he knows what he's doing, bro. That's what fucking worries me, bro.
That guy's just chilling right now, dude. He's relaxing. Focusing on his $1 billion real estate business,
Yeah, bro. But long story short, I'm kind of grateful for this bye week. Honestly, like we're going into the bye week at the peak, the highest point of our season. Unfortunately, this is the highest point of our season, and we're going into the bye week in a good place. We got 6 winnable games coming up. It's kind of exciting to see what happens. I think it plays out the way at this point right now. It's gonna play out the way it's supposed to play out.
Yeah. Right? And again, it's easier to watch as a fan because if we're going to drop the rest of the games, then again, it's back to what was our regularly scheduled program, if you will, right? Yeah. It's back to a bad season, which we knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
Pretty much like after the month of September, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty much after week 1, we knew what kind of season was probably going to be.
Bro, yeah.
So, honestly, it's kind of a win-win for me. Again, and this is all assuming that the reports will be true and that McDaniel and Tua are coming back. Great.
Yeah.
And let's just win and let's keep riding this high note.
Yeah.
So.
Facts.